Welcome back to Benny's Custom Works, proudly supported by Haltech and Sparesbox. Don't forget Benny 5 on checkout this week. We are progressing on our 2J. We have our fully reconditioned cylinder head back. It does have the Kelford cams and springs already installed as well. Obviously we do have to remove them to fit it to the head, but they have had all the clearances checked and rectified. They did also replace an exhaust valve. There was damage on one valve, so yeah, that was the level that West End went to that head to go right through it, check every single piece of componentry. And yeah, it's come back with a full bill of health. Obviously they had to replace that valve, but yeah, they're pretty happy with how it's come together. So today we are going to be assembling the long engine. All the timing gear and stuff's going to go back on as well, and you're probably going to laugh at me because I put something back together wrong, but we're going to get into it so that I can get this engine assembled and tuck it in the corner until we slap it into this thing behind me. So let's dive on into 2J things.
All right, so this is obviously not top dead center.
No.
What is this now?
This is whatever.
This is whatever.
Well, technically it's top dead center cylinder 3 and 4.
Oh, right.
So it's still top dead center, just a different cylinder.
Does that mean these two fire at the same time?
No.
Why are they up at the top
because
of the same time?
Because they'd be firing probably 360 degrees out. Because one full cycle of the engine, all 6 cylinders firing, is 720 degrees. 4 cycles, maths.
Right, 4-stroke 4 cycles.
Yeah.
Someone will understand what you're talking about.
Yeah.
How was this to paint in the end?
To paint?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty easy.
Your masking was all good?
Yeah, I just masked it and then painted it. I brush painted it, so.
So is this 1 coat, 2 coats?
That's 2.
Yeah, cool. Because it looks quite thick and well
yeah,
covered.
because it's a non-thinned enamel.
Right.
So you could just basically trowel it on.
You're an artiste.
Thanks.
So what did you put on wrong?
Nothing yet. If I forget them, it's a bad time.
What do we got here?
Water pump. So I'm just going to assemble all the other bits first. Get all of this stuff going on. Probably doesn't really matter, but being as though we're doing everything today, we may as well start at the bottom and work our way up. Then hopefully I forget less things and have to redo less things. You can actually buy the water pump in 2 ways. You can buy just the front section as we've done, or you can buy the whole thing. But if you get the water pump with this rear housing, it's like 5 times the cost. So unless you specifically need that rear housing, I wouldn't buy it as that setup.
This is only just there to flow water?
Well, yeah, just direct it. We're not going to be disadvantaged by not changing it, but they can corrode out, and hopefully I'm not wrong. But I mean, probably to my detriment, I never actually split it to check. But we're about to find out together.
Too early for an ad break cliffhanger.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Oh, thank goodness.
So normally you would expect cavitation, corrosion kind of on this face or on this edge here, or this face through here, but considering how many Ks this has got, you'd even reuse that water pump if it wasn't such a nightmare to change. Like if you could get to that easily in a car, you wouldn't even change it.
Yeah.
But because it's behind the timing cover and behind the timing belt, all that sort of jazz, just swap it out while you're there. Just using the old trusty stone. Just give it a 5-second lick. Doesn't need any more than that, literally just to clean the face. So I do like this stone very much.
Yeah, I can tell. How often do you have to replace your stone?
Never.
Is it the same as a knife sharpening stone or?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. What are they called? Wet stones?
Wet stone, oil stone, knife stone, stony stone.
Do Americans call it something different?
Probably. Now the one fail was I didn't actually get a O-ring, but I'll just reuse the old one. So this apparently is a high flow thermostat. I don't know what that means, but it was actually the only one listed for a 2J, so has a, I might actually put that on the engine before I fit that, because it does have a jiggler, so I want to make sure it's orientated correctly. And there is an O-ring to change in the front of the block as well. Just gonna use a little bit of rubber grease to actually hold the O-ring in the block because it just fell out, and that'll be a bad time if I get it half on and the water pump has no O-ring. So it's not gonna go anywhere now. I suppose the thing is we've actually only got to get bolts inside the timing cover to start with. Yeah, so we need another 2 bolts. We're going learn today. Every day's a school day. Yay. I'm going to basically drop all the pistons. Jesus, all the valves. I'm going to drop all the pistons down the bore so that This is not in the correct timing position, so I'm going to put it 45 degrees past top dead on number 1, give or take, so that when I put the cylinder head on, there's no, because it's a 6-cylinder, some of the valves are going to be open, so I'm going to clean the deck off now, and then we're going to put all our studs in and our gasket, and we'll slap the head on, and then we can start assembling it properly, because it took me 20 minutes to do a water pump.
New tensioner?
Yep. We actually have some goodies to replace on that.
On the tensioner itself?
Yeah.
Wow. That seems fandangled.
Got some cool bits. We've got a lot of bits actually. There's a lot of bits in this engine. This is like all the bin pile.
Okay. Bin pile update.
It's just going to knock off all the coolant sponge. You could potentially get a coolant leak there.
That was like when I had the Subaru was getting all these random like air pockets in the cooling system.
Yeah.
And you told me to take the heater hoses off because it looked like there was a bit of remnants of coolant there.
Yeah.
And do exactly what you're doing there.
Yeah.
And that fully fixed the problem.
Mad.
Something that simple.
Just lets it leak out, hey?
Yeah, it's like it was letting like micro bubbles of air in here and there, and then it would eventually just overheat.
Yeah, because it'd lose a certain amount of coolant.
Yeah.
And then it's like, nah, I'm done. Just cleaning all the threads out too, because I actually did chase all these threads.
Okay.
But the enamel was fresh and it seemed to react with brake cleaner the other day when it was still fresh, like it was still tacky.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to brake clean all the living crap out of it.
Yeah.
Sealed for your freshness. So this is a 2JZ GE gasket, not a GTE, because it's not a GTE. And it's actually much thinner. And I'm going to hit it with some Hylamar.
What's the reasoning behind the gasket being thinner?
Higher compression probably. It's also a single layer, and being an NA it won't have as high dynamic cylinder pressure in theory. So it's probably not, the gasket's not under as much load. It's higher compression than a 2J, so than a turbo 2J I should say. Now we've got the good stuff starting.
Thought it already started.
Well, the nice parts, not just the water pump. Now we are using head studs because all 2JZ head bolts are not reusable, and ARP head studs are reusable. So if for whatever reason we need to pull the head off in the future, like when we put turbo rods and pistons in it, that's not happening. So I did say that with the other car, which is getting turboed, so who really knows?
Which car was that again?
The Falcon.
Yeah. Once you turbo the Falcon, are you going to be doing dry drifting?
Probably. Being American, it's probably Imperial. So you've got to use the red ones. Am I going to be made a liar of? Nope. If you use Hylamar on head gasket, you've actually got to let it tack off, almost like contact cement. So it's a good idea to spray your gasket before you go, or before you're ready to use it. Gives it 5 or 10 minutes to tack off.
I like that your handle doubles as the tack stand.
You like that?
Yeah, it's innovative.
Thank you.
Have you always done that, or is that just you just look for a random spot every time?
No, pretty normal.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I did chase all these threads after I painted it, including in the deck itself. So it does say in the ARP instructions to chase the threads.
Yep.
I just used an old bolt and cut a slot down the thread. Just basically made my own tap.
Oh, cool.
Just cleans all the threads out, and make sure also that your thread bores are dry, because you can actually crack blocks winding bolts, or in this case studs, into the block.
Makes sense, because then
Can
the water's
hydraulically force the water to crack the block.
Wow.
So yeah, I've never seen it personally, but I mean, it stands to reason that it's possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you've freshly cleaned your engine, make sure that you blow out all the thread bores. I mean, this engine's been cleaned and sat for a couple of weeks now, so yeah, I gave it a brake clean the other day and let it sit after chasing the threads, so it should be sweet. I'm also no engine builder, so by all means, when I do something wrong, tell me. This is the one thing about studs and gaskets. Fiddly to get the gasket in the right spot to get it down the studs.
Yeah.
And it's actually smarter to put the studs after the gasket. But because I Hylamar'd it, I wanted to get as much time for that to tack off as possible.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. So that's Down, that's down. And that little warpage in the gasket doesn't matter. As soon as the head's on, that's going to sit flat. So
Yeah, cool.
the only thing you do want to check your head gasket for is like hard folds, but at that point it should be blindingly obvious if it's actually got a hard fold in it that it's got bigger issues anyway.
Yeah.
Like it came folded in half in the post or something.
Yeah. Obviously, because that's a part that just won't seal.
Yeah, you just won't get that fold out of the gasket.
Yeah.
They do such a good job at West End, eh?
Yeah, it looks thorough.
Like they just pack stuff
Look at
properly.
that, even the cardboard at the bottom's like
Yeah,
full cut
just to
shape.
protect the head. And
I like that idea too. It's like the recycling before the recycling.
now this is the point where we need to take the cams and the caps off because you can't get to any of the bolts.
Ah, of course.
I'm glad I put this rag here. I actually put this here to put all the head stuff there.
Oh.
And actually leave the cams loose so that the valves aren't protruding from the bottom of the head as well. The head shop, when they assemble the head, they don't actually bolt the cams all the way down when it's completely finished because in transit there could be impacts on the lower. Typically you're not going to want to be bashing this face anyway because it could damage the head surface, but they always leave the valves at resting height rather than being compressed so that you don't not have any risk of bending valves or anything like that. So just another nice little feature.
They're pre-lubed, obviously.
Yeah, they've greased them just to protect them.
Is that to protect them on first startup so that they're not...
Possibly, or possibly just for anti-corrosion as well. Yeah, it's the magical ARP goop. They put this anti-corrosion coating on these now and they just stick in the bag.
Yeah. Oh well, seems like a small price to pay, other than the actual cost.
They've cross-hatched these washers now, so I would assume
Ah, yeah.
that the cross-hatch would go to the cylinder head side.
Extra grip on that side.
That's what I reckon. Oh, that's how do you get a washer in there?
Oh god. Magnet fishing
What
again?
the
Magnet fishing again? Or?
Not even, bro.
Oh crap.
It's like we've got to hold the head up.
Oh man.
What the
Are you meant to put the washers on before the head goes on?
must be.
God dang.
Yeah, but how the do you do that? This might be a tripod
Yeah, no
deal.
worries.
Whatever you do, don't let it go down.
Yeah, now.
No pressure.
As in hold pressure? Oh god.
That was my fault, sorry.
Right, I see the technique now. The thing is, I don't know how heavy this is. I'm just holding as much pressure upwards as I can. But I don't think I've got the time to do all of it. Maybe if you want to support it for a sec, I can readjust.
This is a shit design. Because the next problem is getting it off the magnet.
So we got two down. How many to go?
Just
2,
like 10
4,
more.
6, 8, 10, 12. Oh, maybe it's 10.
And then the thing we've got to be really careful of lowering the head is that it doesn't push them off
Yeah.
the position.
Hey, if the camera shakes for the rest of this episode, it's because of this
Arm
moment.
pump.
One to go. Now the fun part's going to
I'm
be...
sure there's an easier way to do this than this.
Now the fun part's going to be lowering it and they all pop back up.
Why say that? Right, let
Yeah.
go.
Yep. I'm letting go slow. Looks promising.
Only one squiffy one right at the front.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're good. What a shit system.
That's another classic example of why mechanics have bad backs. Like my back hurts after that. My upper back from just trying to
Welcome,
lift that
friend.
whole time.
Now the
Correct.
socket doesn't fit in the head. What the do I just throw the socket in the lathe?
If you throw the socket in the lathe, will it have enough strength to then make the full torque?
Hope so. We'll find out. It's only a cheap socket. This is the silly shit that takes time.
Damn, there's not that much material there to work with.
No.
So you can only take a B's stick off.
But then by
basically.
the same theory, any other half-inch socket is still going to have the same problem.
Hey, that's a great piece of Schwarf just there. So this is your second pass.
Yeah.
How many passes are you doing before you're thinking it's enough?
I'll probably do one more just to clean it up, and then I'll sand it. Because the thing will be, it will be tight on the bore of the head. Any roughness that's on that socket could gall the cylinder head. Good enough.
Sweet. Man, I thought we were in trouble then.
Nah, I don't want the socket to be magnetised.
But then, if you put the magnet on the end of that socket, would that hold that in better?
Probably not.
Can we try?
No.
Oh, gosh.
I was in magnetise the socket.
Yeah.
Nah,
Okay.
I don't want a magnetised socket.
But then you remove the magnet once you want it to release.
I was in hold the magnet on that.
Yeah, temporarily.
Nah, that won't work.
No?
No.
Why? Because the magnet...
Because it's not strong enough.
Okay.
If you had like a gnarly magnet, I didn't put goop on that.
I thought you had gnarly magnets.
Nah, I like proper gnarly.
Did you ever have magnets as a kid? Like play with
yeah.
magnets? What was that answer?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember
How fun
magnets
was
at
it?
school?
Yeah, it was a full-fledged thing, yeah.
Yeah.
What about yo-yos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo-yos, Tarzos, marbles,
Yeah, marbles, that's right.
all the fads.
Gosh, the kids of this generation will never understand.
We had a designated marble area at school, and then they put 2 demountables in the school, and then that was where the marble area was, so that was game over.
You meant to like get your marbles and smash other people's marbles somehow?
I think so.
You ever lost your marbles?
Did we ever really have them?
I'll do this sitcom style. I wonder how Phil's going. Special guest Phil. Obviously same technique as previously mentioned. Tightening
Yeah,
from
in to out,
Yeah. Does
not
it
out
matter?
to in.
Does it matter which way you go?
Probably not. You got to do it in equal pattern.
I'm assuming you're going, I can't see the numbers. Are you going halfway? Like talking it up half?
You got to do it in 3 stages, so I'm just going to go 30, 60, and then 80.
Okay, cool. $60?
Yep.
So that's 80 foot-pound. You're just doing the final check.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so it obviously withheld the torque, even with it
Yeah, it didn't.
like less material.
Yeah, it's fine.
What's next?
Chuck the cams in, put the caps on. I'm actually going to put a little bit of sealant around these front caps because it could potentially wick oil around through there. So I just want to make sure that we don't end up with any oil in the timing cover because that's a bad time. Bad time. That was an accident. Conveniently, these are all marked as well.
So you're just double checking them as they go in?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm putting them back where they came off, but
Yeah.
stuck them on the bench the way they came off the head.
These markings, green and blue. Mm-hmm. What's the go there?
No idea.
Cool.
Well, technically it'd have to be a Kelford thing because it's their cam. This may not be required, but I'm used to doing it, so I'm just going to do it.
Getting the thread started, not
Yeah,
putting any pressure on them.
literally just getting them to nip down.
Yeah. How did you decide where to put the cam in?
That's just where it went. It was happy there.
Okay, sure.
So because all the pistons are way below the valve height,
Yeah.
it's not critical.
Yeah. That's why you wound them down to halfway.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is basically get the cams in and then time the cams and then actually time the crank after the cams are timed.
Right.
Because I know we're only 45 degrees past top dead, we bring the engine back and then they're not going to be in the wrong phase and bend valves.
Okay. And timing just refers to obviously, I'm getting it as it's sort of going together, but refers to the
relation of the crank to the cam, basically.
Yeah. Which is important so that the lobes contact.
Also, everything
valves
opens at the right time.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, because if the valves open at the wrong time, the engine's never going to run.
Yeah.
I'm tightening it down in stages so we don't break the cam. It's not common, but it is possible, so something to keep in mind.
Okay, if there's more.
If you just crank it down on one end, you could
there.
potentially snap the cam because they are a cast material.
Yeah.
I mean, there are tool steel cams out there as well, but yeah, it can definitely cause you dramas if you run it down too quickly in one spot and the cam's not evenly supported.
I know you're not much of a VTEC man, but VTEC, is that something to do with the cam lobes?
Yeah, so VTEC has basically effectively two cam profiles in one cam, where it'll engage low and high lift modes. Really is the easiest way of describing it.
It's pretty clever.
It's very clever.
Any other innovative engine ideas you can think of from manufacturers?
Ducati Desmo valve. There's no valve springs, so mechanically it's always connected to the cam.
Wow.
So it opens and closes the valves.
So new seals here?
Yeah, new cam seals. The inlet one actually seals on the pulley, not the cam, because it's a VVTi engine.
Someone will understand that, but that someone ain't me.
And this is the thing I was going to forget to put on, so I'm trying to remember to not forget it.
Nice.
Just going to replace the O-ring in this. Maybe. Probably should mark this actually, just in case it can go together in more than one way. So this is how the variable cam timing works. It's actually based on oil pressure. So the VCT solenoid will either add or remove oil from the actuator. New O-ring. Now there's master spline on these. I just wigged out and thought that you could put these together anyway, but you actually can't.
So master spline, is that like thicker or whatever, just like a puzzle piece that only slots in?
Yeah, basically. So if you look here, it's like a double groove almost. And then this matches, so there's actually multiple moving pieces. There's a double groove there that goes inside that one, and there's a double groove here that goes inside this one.
That's so
which
crazy.
You can actually see there. So it only goes back together one way. And then I did mark the pulley, which if Toyota's smart, nope. Yeah, okay. So there must be some sort of identifying. It must be like you've got to put that hole over that groove or something, like to line it up. So this is the variable cam timing phaser, which goes on the end of the cam.
Oh, that's why I was confused, because I saw that over there.
So I've only got one of those. So that replaces the stock exhaust pulley.
Yeah.
So on a VVTi engine, electronically we can change the cam timing.
Okay.
Whereas on a non-VVTi engine, you would have two of those. You'd have one for the inlet and one for the exhaust.
Righto. I mean, I say righto. I'm going to say I only understand maybe like 3.5 out of 10.
Okay.
But it's enough. Is it possible to point where the thing you're working on goes to?
I'm going to put it on in a minute.
Okay, sweet. I guess we'll just wait in suspense.
See, look, I do spanner check things. Internet.
I won't include that shot just to get the internet going.
Nah, I swore under my breath.
Yep. Oh, do we have to beep dick?
I don't know. I said dick.
Ah, rightio. The old sneaky F word.
Yeah. Yes, is the cam phaser that you were just asking about. I'm going to put a bit of lube on this.
Still in suspense. You walk over here like you're going to put it on, then you walk back.
Oh, I just want to lube it up a bit. Because it's going into that seal. Could potentially burn up on startup because it's not the sort of thing that's going to see oil pressure straight away.
Yep.
There we go.
That's a cool sheet. Where'd you get that from?
Gowie.
Nice.
It's just out of the workshop manual there.
79 Newton meters, you said?
Mm-hmm. Do love a good new part. Golby's actually started making tons and tons of parts in-house, including these cam pulleys. So it's pretty cool to see another company start local manufacturing rather than farm stuff out to China like so many other companies in Australia. These are designed and made in Toowoomba, and they actually make this titanium retainer as well. I'm going to tap that on with my piston hammer. Just give it a...
What's the A and the R stand for?
Advance and retard.
Yeah, righto.
So this is effectively what the variable cam timing is doing in there, but hydraulically and all the time, whereas we'll have to dial this in later and it'll lock the cams in the right spot. So I'm actually just going to set it to 0
Yep.
and then tighten it up.
cool.
because I don't want that to come loose and damage something before we set it. It's not exactly on 0, but it's close enough.
79 again?
Yeah, mate. Nice.
So you do it, you tighten it twice, just to check?
Just always check it.
Yeah.
If you've got an electronic torque wrench, make sure that you leave it in storage with no batteries in it too. Because if the batteries leak, even the cheap digital torque wrenches are a couple of $100, so for the 2 seconds of pulling the battery out every time, happy days. Pretty sure that's the timing mark, like to the cover.
Yep.
Whereas our timing mark for the inlet cam is there. Actually, we're quite close on both of them. So we can use our cam gear lock tool, which is very nice. I'm just going to put the cams, or time the cams, get them in the right spot. And we've also got our Hughes Race Built cam lock. There'll be a little bit of finessing, no doubt. It's nice, eh?
So that's just there to lock that so you can
It
do
locks the
whatever
cam and the
else
crank together. So now, the 2 cams together. So now we can put all the timing belt accessories on.
Yep, without it rotating,
Without it moving,
just
yeah.
out or whatever.
Well, yeah, then you don't have any potential for it to jump or move.
Yeah.
So we can actually put the crank back to top dead center number 1 now.
Okay. So I can see you've actually lined this notch up with that
Yep.
notch
And then that with that one.
notch with that notch.
And then we're going to put the crank back to top dead number 1 here.
Yep. So that is this piston at the top, I think.
Yeah, cylinder 1, which means we can do our timing belt stuff. I do have a crank seal, which I need to fit as well.
So even that I notice has markings, so it's got
Yeah.
that little dot and that little notch. Is that because this can be put on any other way?
Yeah, it could go on in any position really.
Is that a universal puller?
Yeah. And I managed to get some long high tensile M6 bolts. These are actually valve body bolts from a Toyota Kluger,
Wow.
which we got when we were doing one of the cars we gave away for the fires.
Yep.
That Lexus,
Yeah, that's right.
the Lexus SUV thing.
Yep. How many years ago was that now?
I reckon at least 4 years ago now.
Crazy.
It was a while ago, man.
Don't know about you, but time flies, as they say.
Now the reason I haven't just tried to pry this off is because you've got all the timing triggers. If you go prying around the back of that, it's going to be a bad time.
Yep.
And luckily Toyota's already put those threads in there. So it's pretty easy work to just pull it off.
My stomach's telling me it's 11:30. Have you checked the time?
I don't reckon it's that late. I hope it's not that
I
late.
hope it's not that late too.
Because the goal was to have this done by lunchtime.
Yeah. We started half an hour early, so I guess my body clock's maybe out by half an hour, so I reckon 11.
Yeah.
And if it's at 11:11, then we're gravy, because we'll make our wish and then we're good.
There we go. 10:45.
10:45.
Your TikToks are late. There we go. That was easy.
Good technique.
Hope I got the right seal.
Oh,
Really?
no.
I got you.
God damn.
I'm very impressed with that seal, considering that has most likely 300,000 Ks on it.
Yeah.
As dry as dry. Like I didn't actually clean inside the timing cover at all on this engine.
Is that just to help it seat?
No, so you don't want to put anything on the outside. It's actually just the same deal as the cam seal.
Yep.
Because there's going to be no or low oil there.
Yep.
When it starts up, you don't want to be spinning that.
Is that meant to have oil there?
Well, it's an oil seal, so it stops oil coming out.
Yeah. Wow, that's a very tight tolerance.
Yeah.
Or is this because it's got a bit of, what's the brown stuff? Rust?
Yeah, a little bit of corrosion.
Yeah.
And we're back.
What other seals do you have left to do?
Remain, but we're not going to do that today because that's on the stand. So when we put the clutch on,
Yep.
we'll put the remain on.
Yep, cool.
We can do all our timing belt things. Our accessory belt tensioner on first. Yeah, so accessory belt is just like alternator belt. but the tensioner actually lives inside the timing cover, annoyingly.
Righto. So this tensioner is for the
Accessory belt.
accessory belt.
So like power steering, aircon, alternator.
Yeah, right, that's cool. So it's got 3 marks here and an arrow.
Yeah, it's probably telling you when the belt's worn out.
And what's in here? A big spring?
Yeah.
So the advantage of this method is actually, I'm assuming that as the belt stretches, this just automatically adjusts.
Yeah.
But then, like you said, it will eventually wear out.
Yeah, it'll run out of tension eventually.
How long would you expect that to last? Something like this, tensioner?
Don't know, really.
Hopefully forever.
Yeah, you'd hope.
So this is going to be our timing belt. Oh, this is that little grenade thing.
Yeah.
So that pin is just holding the pressure.
It's, yeah, currently holding it in the lock position.
Yeah. And then once you release the pin, what happens here? Does that push up? So that pushes up and
yeah,
I guess we're about
you'll
to see.
So we've got a billet tensioner bracket from Ross. This is what I was telling you about before. So it replaces the cast portion of the timing belt tensioner. Another nice part made in Australia. These are for like high RPM engines. Pull this sucker apart. Then we need the idler and the bolt and the nut and the washer. I'm going to put some Loctite on this one.
Ah yes, the green Tabasco sauce.
Sure is.
It's for spicy parts, such as billet. Oh shit, stepped on your bits again.
Don't step on me bits, that hurts. Click.
Are you about to pull that pin?
No.
Ah.
Belt's not on.
Ah, of course.
You just want to pull the pin, bro. You know what I love about time belts? Nothing. Ta-da! We have time beltage.
What's that thing about?
Stops the belt walking off the pulley. So it's actually supposed to go on after the bottom cover. Rookie error.
Yeah, nice rebuild.
Water pump housing. So that's
all
feeding
done.
the head, and coolant goes through the
head, yeah.
Yeah, crazy. And then what comes around somehow? What's that?
That's the variable cam timing
Oh,
oil
right.
feed.
Yeah, cool.
But yeah, it comes back to here.
Ah, gotcha.
So that's the top radiator hose.
Yeah, right.
So that's what I'm doing right now,
Yeah, right. Okay.
is this jigger.
Possibly because of the transfer, you know how that...
You know, I only just realised the other day by looking at a diagram that coolant flows through the head of the engine.
Really?
Yep. Had no idea.
There you go.
Yep.
Possibly, yeah.
Pretty cool that you looked at a diagram to work that out.
I looked at a diagram for a different reason.
And that's why it doesn't...
I think it just came up on Facebook.
Cool.
And I was like, we're doing an engine right now, I'm going to learn about this.
Because one side's got the rod going through it, one side doesn't.
And the diagram was cool. It like cut this in half and labelled stuff. Because I was looking
Okay.
more so at the valves.
Yeah, okay. Just trying to work it out.
Yeah. So cool. That pumps that through that, goes around there. Also comes through here. And where's that?
That goes to the bottom radiator pipe.
Yeah, cool.
So like radiator, and
Yep.
then it circulates.
Cool.
But then there's also another hard pipe which we've got to put on as well. It's going to come around here. So that's one heater fitting, and the other one will come out here somewhere.
Yeah. And that goes into the cabin, into the heater
Yeah.
core. Yeah, cool.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought coolant just cooled the engine through magic. I don't know why I didn't really figure it that it would have to flow through the actual.
The head as well.
Yeah. And that's because the engine would generate heat through friction.
Yeah.
So you're not going to use the old gasket.
Nah. I'll just use the sealant.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with this stuff.
So what's left now? We must be getting close.
I've got to put the oil line on, which I'm going to modify one of the banjo bolts because I want to have an oil feed to the oil pressure sender.
Yep.
Because normally the 2J actually has a big oil cooler heat exchanger deal going on, and we've just put a full delete, so it's just got the spin-on filter straight on the block. And it's black.
Snazzy.
Oh, and just finding the right ones. That's interesting.
There we go.
It looks like it's got a check valve.
Whatever that is.
maintaining oil pressure to the head, to the VVTi. So this, I'm going to put pressure into it.
Yep.
It comes like there's a, basically, if you look from the back, see it looks like it's blocked. So yeah, that's the solid piece that comes off. There's like a needle and a seat in there, which is a bit annoying actually, because I was just going to drill through the back of it and put a NPT thread in there, and then put an NPT to dash 4
For
oil pressure to the sensor.
okay. Oh,
So if there's a check valve there, it's never going to read below. It's never going to drain back. So if it's, I
It
can't
will.
use it for safety.
it'll still drain back. Because if your engine oil pressure is not there,
Yeah, true. It'll feed to the VC. Yeah, true.
yeah, like it'll still bleed off up the top.
Yeah. What size hole do I need to drill for 1/8 NPT?
Got that?
5/16.
Yeah, 8.5.
This is one of those moments where I'm like, I feel like giving you the mic to have a chat because you're talking a different language.
0.339 inches. What the is that in a real number? We got to the bottom of the hole. So you just put that straight on the engine with all the gunk in it, yeah? Just make sure you get oil pressure with all that in there.
Running intake.
Yeah. Just clearances stuff.
Yeah.
I kind of touched on it before about how we deleted the factory oil cooler
Yep.
that was here. On the 2J, the oil, all the factory oil, well, effectively oil switch for the oil pressure is part of that. So because I've deleted that, we've got no actual port to put any oil pressure switch or any oil pressure sensor. So all I'm going to do is actually hook it up. I've just tapped this the VVTi oil supply line to 1/8 NPT on the back side of the banjo. So I'm going to put a 1/8 NPT to either dash 3 or dash 4 AN adapter on that, so we can. Oh dear, I don't think that's going to work.
Oh God.
Oh no, we're sweet.
Oh, because
Plenty of room. Yeah, I didn't know what the clearance, because that pad's right there.
Yeah.
We've got plenty of room there, so that's fine.
Phew.
Crises averted. So should I finish the chat now?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. So as I was saying before, I just had a minor aneurysm. There's basically no way to pick up oil pressure signal from the engine, so I've just drilled and tapped the VVTi oil feed banjo to 1/8 NPT on the back side of it. We're going to put a NPT to AN adapter, and then we'll just run a 90-degree up to wherever we put the fitting. Looking at where it is now, I may actually leave the aircon compressor off until it's in the car. I may not. We'll see. See how motivated I get.
I have a much better understanding now that that is on, and now you explained it.
Yeah, so because the other
Pointed
thing
at
is
stuff.
too, Toyota added, obviously the 2J block was designed before VVTi existed. So there was no internal oil pressure feed to this. So they've adapted the cylinder head and the block to get oil feed to the VVTi solenoid.
What's VVTi stand for?
Variable valve timing, intelligent or inlet, I can't remember. I think
Right,
it's
right.
intelligent.
Didn't mean to put you on the spot there.
Yeah, no pressure.
That was a nice click noise.
Satisfying.
Yeah. Nice. Double nice.
So now I've got to make sure we tighten those before we go too far, otherwise we'll go and start this thing up and then all the oil will fall out.
Yeah.
I did replace all the crush washers too.
Yeah, that's another thing that's very handy that you own. You have a lot of those grab kits. I think you call them.
Yeah,
Super handy
I
stuff.
don't just call them that, everyone calls them that.
Yeah. Heaps of sizes, different sizes of stuff. All your O-rings and stuff too. Oh yeah, split pins. That's one I don't have.
Split pins.
Yeah. I don't know why I'd need them. I never work on anything, but you know.
True that. You're just a collector of stuff.
Collector of stuff, aka hoarder. Nah, I'm not that bad. But I tell you what, that grab kit of fuses has come in extremely handy.
Oh yeah.
Especially that one size that I've now run out of.
I was about to say, is it missing one size specifically? Yeah. The other thing I do like to do with my oil pressures or my pressure sensors, because I'm going to have fuel pressure and oil pressure mounted together, is run a -3 and a -4, like one each side, so you can't actually physically put the wrong sensor in the wrong plug. I've actually just found a 1/8 NPT to -3 90 degrees, so that is what's going to actually go in here. So it's a pretty handy little fitting.
Nice.
So basically, it means it's going to be a much lower profile than trying to put an NPT then with a 90 degree, an NPT straight with a 90 degree fitting.
Yeah, yeah, so that's literally just for the clearance from here to there.
Yeah, it just gives us a little bit more room.
Am I in the way?
No. Now, on the off chance that we happen to start this before I put a line on it, I'm just going to cap that. And then the other thing that does is protect the thread.
Beautiful. That's cool. And then you got access just like that.
Well, I'll have an inlet manifold here pretty soon, hopefully. But yeah,
I see.
That can go in the pile of junk. That can go on the engine.
Some people run clear covers on this, don't they, just to see that?
Yeah, I'm not that cool.
Yeah, I was going to say, is there any point in that other than just seeing stuff turn?
Oh, that makes sense. And that's where the other bolt's gone.
Ah, radio.
So that's where the timing cover bolt's on.
Uh-huh.
And then that's the other bolt that I'm missing.
Cool. Oh, it's like Regamasters. Look at that.
What, cracking?
No, this.
Oh.
Oh, shit.
Ah,
I broke your pile of junk.
not my pile of junk.
That's mad. You could totally convert this to some sort of Regamaster.
You can have that.
Thanks.
You can do whatever you like with it as long as it doesn't involve me or storing it.
Just to prove that I'm not a hoarder, it's going in the junk pile.
Yeah, and then you'll scurry out from under your rock later when no one's watching and just put it in the back of your car.
Well, we'll see.
We will see.
But the audience won't.
I'll tell them.
You're not going to believe him, are you?
You'd edit it out anyway.
Of course.
I'll have to live stream it.
I got the account password too. I'll just log in and cancel your stream.
Yeah, thanks.
Quick, everyone. The truth about Gian.
The video I never wanted to make.
You would clickbait too.
I would clickbait. I don't think we've ever had a fully clickbait title, ever.
Nah.
We've had a few that have kind of drifted a little bit close to the sun.
Well, yeah, because then...
But I don't feel like we've ever fully gone down to clickbait town.
Nah. We would never do that.
Nah.
Another grab kit.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe it.
Just all over the shop.
Yeah, this grab kit's literally all over the shop.
Just in case you're wondering what part of the shop we are.
Don't show all the secrets. This shop needs a big clean out, bro.
Well, what the hell bar is that?
Probably the big white one.
That's a wide bar.
Big white one?
Yeah.
Ram.
Ah, makes sense.
It was cheap. It was a spare.
Yep.
I live in the country, bro. That's like one animal away from the car being off the road for 3 months.
Yeah, wow.
Yes.
Oh, sweet.
I need a bolt for the cam angle sensor. Oh, maybe I don't. Yeah, I betcha. Maybe that bolt.
That's cool. I understand how it works now. Because that bit protrudes.
Yeah, and it registers.
Ah. Wow, there you go.
These might be the cam angle sensor bolts, and then that bolt is that.
Oh, yeah.
Still playing the bolt dance.
Yeah.
They're the cam angle sensor bolts for sure.
Cool.
See, people, I'm only just nipping that. And I get my little T-bar. Like, Bert. Bert.
Nice.
Bert. Do you want to show them the nice stuff now?
I thought that was the nice stuff.
No, we got more nice stuff.
Jeez.
I'm just going to put this on. Not going to bother doing the sealer or anything.
Yep. Are you expecting to have to look in here?
Yeah, we've got to dial the cam in, so you need to be in the top of the motor.
So at what point do you actually dial the cam in?
I mean, now really, before the engine's in the car.
So you said off camera just then you're going to do spark plugs just to cover the...
Yeah, well, it needs plugs anyway, but we may as well put them in now so nothing falls into the engine.
Is the exhaust manifold side?
Yeah. Yeah, so RB's the other way.
Which way is the superior way?
I actually think RB is better in a right-hand drive car.
Oh yeah?
Because then you've got the intake on the steering shaft side. You don't have to try and get a dump pipe past. You get all that room.
Yeah, righto.
So I'm actually genuinely surprised, although Ford have been doing it. The problem is Ford Australia always worked on the geometry based on the old original Ford engine, which I'm pretty sure the exhaust was always on the driver's side, which in America would have been the passenger side. Because my thinking would be you would put the exhaust side on the non-driver side so that you're not dealing with steering column and exhaust manifold.
Makes
Because
sense.
on an intake, don't have anything coming down here. But then strangely, Toyota being a predominantly right-hand drive manufacturer also put the exhaust on this side. Who knows?
Hopefully someone knows.
Someone will tell me.
We have so many informative comments on our videos.
We sure do.
It's
I like that
appreciated.
people are helpful and not
Yeah.
arrogant. It's not like, I know more than you.
Yeah, true.
You know what the comment blew up the other day about Falcon ball joints, the top ball joints replaceable.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ah, cool. Did you say they weren't replaceable? Is that...
Yeah,
how
well, I
that
put
came
arms
about?
in your car thinking that
Right.
I had to put arms in it.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's probably easier to replace the whole arm than do the
It
ball
definitely
joint.
is easier, but you also pay for the convenience.
Of course. For someone like me, I would easily just pay the difference and change the whole arm.
Yeah.
because-
Well, the thing is, too, you get new bushes and everything.
Yeah.
So it's not just a like for like. Like, you're also getting new bushes and all the other bits and pieces
Yeah.
too. So it's still not a bad deal. Obviously, this doesn't need to go on now, but I'm just putting everything together so it's less stuff to lose.
Yeah, smart. Man, that's thick.
It is. So that flange is designed for turbo manifolds.
Oh, no.
And the other thing is too, it's designed to be machined at the end. So you'd thin it down
Righto.
when it's finished, like you'd mill it flat. So we have got the engine largely together. I do have one more part to fit today, which is another kit from Golbys. This is a high amperage output alternator kit they do. Comes with a billet front pulley and also a billet adapter bracket. So it is a full direct fit. Depending on what vehicle you have, they also do a direct plug and play alternator connector, which converts from the connector that's on this alternator. So pretty nice kit. And it's 100% bolt-on deal too. So it's a nice little option, being that the standard 2J alternator is expensive and they fail and they don't have anywhere near the power output that this does. So whack her on and thanks for coming.
That does look serious.
It's a serious alternator.
Am I right in thinking that's a slightly larger size than the original?
Power output wise, or
As in size-wise, physical dimensions.
I'd say so.
Even though this matters the least, I really like that that's black. It's just nice.
Everything we've got
Everything's-
is anodized black. Oh,
Yeah.
That's nice too. 12mm M8 fastener. I like that. We do need to get a few bits. I need a water pump pulley. I need a power steering pump pulley. I need a something else. We do actually have a Ross damper as well, which is a very nice bit of gear. We use these, well, I've used these on the Cresta for years. Haven't even opened it yet. These are a very nice setup. And it's even a Gold Series one.
packed nicely.
I do like that it's not full of plastic.
Yeah.
360-degree timing marks as well. Very nice. I like that.
Yeah, right.
I wonder if we could use this instead of a degree wheel. Science me, people. Is that possible?
Use that instead of a degree wheel. Oh, is that
To
that?
dial the cam in.
Oh, yeah, righto.
We do need a puller to fit this though. And we do need to actually do some measurements on the hub to make sure that it's the correct amount of interference. So I'm not actually going to fit the whole thing today, but it would have been nice if it just went schlunk.
So you're not doing the timing today?
No, because
okay.
I'm not doing it. It's
fair
Isaac, remember?
Ah, yes.
Isaac's going to come and save us.
That's right. Oh, cool. That'd be mad to see you guys have a chat about.
But in
timing
saying
and-
that, I reckon we can actually use this as a degree wheel, and then instead of actually using a proper degree wheel.
Does Isaac have the degree wheel?
I have a degree wheel.
Ah, okay, cool.
I bought one specifically for this project.
Okay, nice.
Well, not really, because if we use this instead of the degree wheel, we don't need it.
Yeah.
Properly nice stuff though, and like I said before, these are made in Australia as well, so it's good to have locally made stuff instead of it all being farmed out from overseas.
You're not planning on selling this car, right?
Nope. I don't plan to sell anything I build at the time though, so who knows.
Yeah.
But like all the effort and stuff we're all putting into this, it's not the sort of thing I'm gonna finish and then offload the day it's done.
Of course, yeah.
I'm not building it to sell it.
Yeah.
Obviously we're fitting ITBs to this engine and the dipstick is now going to be in a bit of a hindrance of a position, so I'm actually going to shorten it. Once I've got the accessories on the engine and we've got the ITBs, I'll shorten this up so that it's just out of the way, it's just ugly. So to be perfectly honest, I just want to tuck it down here somewhere. I'll shorten it, and I'll most likely just cut it from this end and remark the stick, because it's only got very basic markings. It's got a low and a high, which I can do with a center punch. So all I basically have to do is measure the stick out on the tube as it is now, and then I'll cut it, and I can actually just flare that tip with a brake line flairer. So yeah, it won't really be a massive issue, but I don't want to cut it up until we know where it's going to be. And I am going to weld a tab to it so it bolts on properly, because it's the same deal. This bolts, I think, to the stock inlet manifold. I don't even know where it goes. I'm assuming it probably lives here somewhere, but the other thing is too, we've got the oil filter in a completely different position now, so we need to make sure that we've got clearance for the oil filter. So I'll probably kick it out that way somewhere, but cut it off much lower. Yeah, then we've got plenty of clearance and it doesn't look ugly just hanging out in the wind.
Nice.
Hopefully we have a lot of cool features by the time this is done, where things are being tucked away and hidden.
That's so keen
Same.
to see. And here.
Do you reckon we should unveil it at Time Attack?
Oh, that'd be so cool.
That's putting a timeline on it. I don't know if that's possible, but it would be sick to take it to Time Attack and show people for the first time. Still in limbo on wheels. A lot of the other cars, obviously, a lot of the other parts of the car are obviously already sorted, because we are transitioning a lot of parts from what was going into the Crown into this. We've obviously got our shockworks and tail shaft and a gearbox and a clutch and engine mounts and gearbox mount. So hopefully all of those things will line up. Being that this is a 1G car and the Crown was a 1G car, the crossmember should be the same. Parts catalogue says they are, so the mount should work straight in. Hopefully the transmission crossmember bracket, which is welded into the floor, being like every other Toyota, there's so many different mounting positions on those mounting tabs, so I don't see that being an issue. We do need to put the handbrake in and cut the tunnel for the handbrake as well as the shifter. So yeah, there's a few things. I do actually even have a leather handbrake boot, a leather gear shift boot now that I got from Japan. A guy custom makes them specifically for GX81s, and it's even in that chocolate brown color, and it's genuine leather, so pretty stoked with that. Got a steering wheel sorted, so yeah, plenty of bits that are still incoming, but yeah, plenty more to come on the project. So yeah, might be at Time Attack. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.